Hey guys, what's up? How's everybody doing? I'm exhausted. Anyway, let me know what you guys want to talk about in the comments. I saw that BR said that he thought Target was going to be a miss. We could maybe do a bearish Target trade on earnings. But anyway, if you guys have an earnings trade you want to do, I'm not going to have a special earnings show. So put it in the comments and we'll take a look at it right now, or we'll take a look at it today. Also, I'm trying to decide if I should simulcast my interview with Mike Coe over on X, and Parabolic Nurse, who helps Ambassador Quan with his live streams on X, has offered to help. So that would be awesome. I can't believe how big the station's growing. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it yet. We always just do YouTube, and I figured that Dan or one of my moderators would be there to moderate the YouTube stream and make sure there's no trolls or whatever. But if we do it, if I simulcast it, I'm going to have Parabolic Nurse help me and give questions from X also. So that's pretty big news. That's pretty big news. I haven't totally decided if I'm going to do it yet, though. Anyway, I'm going to decide today and let her know by today, but I appreciate that. Was nice of her to offer to help. That would be awesome. And I imagine someday soon I'll be doing everything on both X and Twitter, or X and YouTube. Someday soon. I'm just not sure if I'm ready for it by tomorrow, but possibly. We'll see. All right, guys. So let's take a look at the market. I missed Trade Brigade this morning. Hopefully you guys watched it for me. It doesn't look like the market's doing anything. That's a daily chart. Holy cow, look at that, though. Went up and made a new high. Now we're going to have to drill down on this thing. We're going to drill down to the 30-minute chart. All right, so, well. Looks like the old reversion to mean play. We got ahead of ourselves on the 30-minute, and we came back and reverted to mean. But we've also got too low a couple of times right here. That's the lowest volume node on the chart, and that turned the market around. We didn't get quite this low, but we got to other low volume nodes. The high volume nodes, I picture them like magnets. And the low volume node is like a magnet with the opposite charge. You know how when you slide a magnet with the wrong charge by and it repels it? That's how I visualize a low volume node. And a high volume node is like a magnet. It wants to go there and get stuck. Now, it doesn't mean the market can't have enough momentum to blow through either one of them, but in the absence of extra momentum, you can expect it to act like this. I heard them saying on Trade Brigade yesterday. I heard Matt saying that Sir Isaac Newton had it figured out in the 15th century or whenever that was. And I swear I didn't get that from Matt. I have always said that. I've always tried to apply the laws of the physical universe to the stock market. I've always said because I took like one science class in high school somehow. I got out of taking science, didn't take any in college. I didn't even have to take chemistry. I took botany or something, but I know enough science to be dangerous. Somehow I still made a 27 on the science part of the ACT, which is really good. But anyway, I made a 27 on science and math, and then like a 20 on English and something else. Anyway, but an object at rest stays at rest until acted on by an equal and opposite force. I remember that from middle school science. My middle school science teacher taught me that, and I've always remembered that. And an object in motion stays in motion unless acted on by an equal and opposite force. So, and I've always thought the market was the same way. And when I visualize this order flow and this volume profile, this type of analysis, that's what I'm doing. If the market doesn't have sufficient, the base case is that the market's going to grind. And if it gets too low, it's going to go back to mean. If it gets too high, it's going to go back to mean, reversion to mean. And then, of course, the market can trend. And when it trends, it means it's been acted on by an equal and opposite force. And that can certainly help. That helps me visualize it. But anyway, all right, that's the science lesson for today. Or that's the market lesson. Like I say, I'm great at oversimplifying stuff. And I'm definitely oversimplifying volume profile and what's called order flow trading, but that's kind of how I think of it. And of course, it's just one of many elements you look at. So it's concerning to me the NASDAQ is weaker. The NASDAQ has settled into this lower area. The NASDAQ was acted on by an equal and opposite force, and it busted out of this higher one right here. It busted right through this low volume node, and then again, and then when it ran and it went to this mean, and then when it got too high, it went back to this low volume node, and then that opposite magnet approach. When it got there and boom, it repelled it and it sent it back here. Then the same thing happened. It got too low this morning and it sent it back here. So we'll see. We'll see if the NASDAQ can stay in this one or if it's going to keep going lower, but that's a little bit concerning to me. And so I also believe in just following convergence, divergence, looking at other risk assets. I mean, you have to look at the whole picture. The order flow, the volume profile is just one little thing, and the other risk assets are weak. So I wouldn't be surprised if ES maybe falls out. And I mean, we wouldn't want to see that happen, but if you're a bear, you want to play an ES trade for the end of the week. Maybe you aim for 64.14 if you're a bear, because the NASDAQ's fallen out and went to the lower one. But if you're a bull, you might want to buy the dip in the NASDAQ and aim for this higher. They both can't be right. Either the ES is right or the NASDAQ is right. Anyway, 10-year, what's it doing? Who cares? I mean, I care, but at least it's coming down a little bit. It got kind of high. All right. Well, I don't like this. What's AMD doing down 3.7%? I saw Intel was up this morning. It came across my little stupid Microsoft. I hate Microsoft. Oh my gosh. But it came across it was a little flash here. It said Intel up 7% or something. And I think it probably had news to do. What's this? Kim gives nuclear order. What the heck? Ketamine queen pled guilty to supplying fatal dose to friend Star Matthew. Boy, she looks like the kind of girl I used to hang out with back in the day. She looks like a fun girl. Anyway, I'm just joking. I never done ketamine. I don't do drugs. They're bad. They're bad. Anyway, okay. As soon as the computer starts working again, we will. We don't want to look at that anyway. Let's just shut this stupid Microsoft. All right. Let's see here. Channel's been going a lot better lately. One of the first is as the channel starts doing better, I'm going to get a new battery in the MacBook. I have two MacBooks. We're going to switch back to an Apple channel, but for now we're doing fine on Microsoft. Anyway, okay. I don't like AMD being down that much. I don't like Amazon being down, although it's up so high. It's doing better than AMD. Coinbase, gosh darn it, Coinbase. And here's the equal and opposite force in Coinbase. They were in this balance area, too high, too low, just right, whatever. Then the equal and opposite force was the earnings miss. They had a big sell order to come through, and it shot them right through this area. Well, this area is going to be a bear to get back through. And the one time they've been in it, it was a good short. It wasn't the short of the century, but 346 down to, you put your first target. If you're bearish, you put your first target at mean. 318. So you'd be out of half of your position. If you shorted the return to this, you'd be out of half your position, or I would when it hits mean. Then you can keep a runner on, move your stop loss to break even, and keep a runner on. And if God forbid, if Coinbase keeps going down, your runner still runs. But if not, you've got a little profit in the trade. All right. So we got that going on. Gosh, why is all this red on the screen? That's just. The only thing that's up is SPY and equal weight at SPY. Anyway, it's rotation. Their money's coming out of tech and going into other stuff. At least today it is. Oil's down. What's VIX doing? We haven't checked VIX in a while. Well, I mean, the general trend of VIX is down. It went up on the 30-minute chart yesterday, but then it reverted. Again, VIX doesn't have volume, so we can't look at that. We could pull up an ETN or ETF. All right, we'll look at VIVIX. VIVIX is more of a pro measure, and the pros are more cautious. This is the Joes. The Joes are selling vol. Okay, this is the pros. Yeah, the pros are, not really selling ball. It's kind of trending up, and we can take the ratio, and I do often, but we aren't going to look at that today. All right. Well, but the pros seem more worried than the Joes do. All right. So what are you guys? Are you guys a pro or a Joe? I mean, I saw Marcus in there. Marcus is definitely a pro. Marcus is the consummate pro, and he's also a pro artist. So I'm always kind of a pretend artist, a pretend graphic designer, but Marcus is the real deal from the great state of Pennsylvania. And then we have Dan, my friend Dan. Dan, are you going to be able to moderate? Okay, good. That's what I told Parabolic Nurse. I said, I got the best moderators in the world. I got four, I got four people I use for my Discord and stuff. I said, we got it covered on YouTube. But if I simulcast, it would be darn helpful to have her, keep that on lock. Anyway, and speaking of pro traders, we got SB in the house. SB from the great state of Mississippi. All right, so let's see what else we have going on. All right, so Trade Tracker Alti. Okay, I had to start. This feels like one of the reasons I'm so tired is because I was up till 2 or 3 working on a new video. Then I got up at 8 this morning, and the AI algorithm's not working on the trade tracker, so I just had to do it. I had to do it manually. I'm back to doing manual spreadsheets and dividend predictions. And on this one, I'd like to do them on LFGY and GPTY, maybe, and Blocks. But Blocks doesn't post their daily trades. Blocks, if you're listening, not X Funds, if you're listening, why don't you post your daily trades? You can look at Blocks' positions every day. You can look at position one day, position the next day, and then you can see what changed. But it's a lot easier when you just get a rundown of the daily trades. But in any event, all right. So what I had to do here, my trade tracker history wasn't working. That's why I kept saying I have trade tracker history, then I have trade tracker history 2, and then I made another, and then I had to copy that, and here's trade tracker history 3. I decided not to even call it that because I don't even know if that'll work. Well, anyway, all I did is here's the trades, and I manually figured them out. So I didn't have time to write columns. Column H is option premium. Column is positive option premium. That's where you sell something short and you write a contract. And that's what they pay the dividend with. But then I is how much the puts cost, because they also buy puts. So yesterday we brought in we sold $13 million worth of premium, but we bought $9.4 million worth of puts, hedges, whatever. And this could also be call spreads. This same formula would work if you sell a call, then buy a call. Well, heck, it's like I always say, calls and puts are the same thing. A call spread and a put spread are actually synthetic equivalents of each other. Also, I'll show you that someday anyway, but it doesn't even matter for today. But my point is, it could be something that's your hedge. The hedge could be an out-of-the-money call like LFGY does it. The hedge could be a put, but in either like a call or whatever, and that's like ULTY does it. But in either event, it's a cost. There's no free money. The hedges cost money. Brought in 13 million, spent 9.4. The difference is what we made. But overall, the trades on the day lost 60 million. We bought 450,000 shares of CRDO. What in the hell is CRDO? Then we sold some Reddit, and then we bought 175,000 shares of Workday. I would imagine maybe Workday and CRDO are earnings stocks. Let's go over here to FinBiz and see what in the heck CRDO is. CRDO. I mean, you got to be kidding me when I saw that this morning. Some kind of Credo technology group out of the Cayman. It sounded shady. When I Googled it, I mean, I was like, what in the heck is this? You've got to be kidding me. Credo Technology Group. Anyway, Jackson, he's looking at me like he's in trouble because I always say, you got to be kidding me. And when I'm mad or I'm just joking, Jackson. I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean, you got to be kidding me. It's okay, Jackson. He's such a smart dog. He's like, what did I do wrong? You always say, you got to be kidding me as soon as I chew up something I'm not supposed to. Jackson, you're a good boy. You didn't do anything. It's all right. It's all right, buddy. It's so funny. He also, when I get mad, I hit the keyboard harder. Not, I punch the key like it's going to make it work faster when formulas aren't working or something. Some days when I'm upset at the spreadsheet, which is 90% of the time, I hit enter harder or something. He looks up off the bed like, what did I do? And or he knows when Dad's upset, which happens all the time. Anyway, all right, Dad needs to chill out. It's all right. Dad needs to chill out. All right. Well, anyway, what the heck? It's on the Russell. I mean, this doesn't show IV, but I bet the IV is about 497 on this thing. If they put it in the portfolio, has a big uptrend. Credo Technology. All right. Well, this also, does this show the next earnings date? Yeah, September 3rd, after market closed. I mean, it's a little bit early to call this an earnings play. Maybe it's probably just an IV play. Anyway, Credo Technology Group. Wonderful. That's great news. I'm sure you guys know about it. You guys are my stock experts. All right. So what else are we going to look at here on the Trade Tracker Alti? But I really like this. This is what I was trying to do, and I was trying to have it ready in time for Jonathan's show. I just couldn't get the AI to parse all this, but this is the piece de resistance, which is called sheet 12. Like I say, until I get everything working, I'm hesitant to even title the sheets. But okay, so sheet 12 is the consolidation sheet. This is last week, so they're on a Friday through Thursday pay schedule. So, and this is the same thing I just showed you, but every day. So then we added up for last week. I didn't do it in time to make a dividend estimate, but it came out to 1.6% or 83%. And I don't know if that's close to what they paid. I can go check it out. I just didn't have time to this morning. But if you look on Yieldmax's page, it's listing 88 or something, which is just the current. Let's just go look at that. Let's go see how close I was. And Yieldmax just shows you the current payment. They figure it the same way I did there. So, and they don't just pay from the premium. Sometimes they pay a little bit out of the upside that they're able to catch. So that formula is not intended to be exact, but that is the amount of money that Jay has. That is the option premium. Doesn't mean they have to pay that much. And they also might have some T-bill interest, but on this one they aren't going to because they own the stocks. Unfortunately, I prefer the synthetic strategy, but whatever. Whatever. They don't ask me for my advice, but I think a synthetic strategy is a better way to run run this type of strategy. That's why I really like the way old rec shares. I like TSII, TS2, whatever you want to call it, NV2. They're running a synthetic strategy on half the portfolio and then selling call on half the portfolio. Is that I like the way they've structured their. Of course, those are single stocks. On single stocks, you have to do a synthetic technology because of the concentration rule. Anyway, whatever. Distribution rate 88. We said 83. Whatever. Close enough for government work. Close enough for government work. All right, it gets us in the ballpark. So let's go back over here. Trade Tracker Alti to my sheet. It's okay, Jackson. Everything's cool. Now he's looking out the window. There's probably a deer out there or a cat, squirrel, possum. We have possums and lots of raccoon will occasionally walk by, not usually during the day. Anyway, so we can see how we're doing for the next month. I forgot to carry this down. Anyway, by the end of the day, we'll see how our current dividend's going. But just as of yesterday, we made $4.5 million. Assuming the AUM's about the same, I could figure that out. But anyway, whatever. We'll figure that out later. I'll make this look more attractive, but this is what I was trying to do the whole time. I want to be able to track this. Of course, the positions are still important to me, and I have the positions right here. Here's all the positions. This is where we can pull trades off of, or we pull trades off the. Well, let's pull a trade here off the Trade Tracker history, which is now called sheet 12. We want to do a bearish target trade, and we want to do a bearish target trade, and we can do a copy trade here on one of these things. Maybe this workday. Here we'll do a workday trade. Because that's a new one. Workday and this Credo, or maybe we'll do a Credo trade. On Credo, they did 2 tranches. Well, it's the same strike though. 140, 100 on Credo. Okay. I'll come back to that, or put it in the comments if you guys want to see that. You guys may not care that much about the copy train, but you can go do it. Go do it yourself. Put on a 140, 100 call spread in Credo. You don't have to have stock. You're on the same side of the market as they are. And you could do the same thing in Workday. Put on a 245. Boy, that's a wide one. Are you serious? You got to be kidding me. Just joking, Jackson. I'm just joking. He's like, don't joke about that. Oh, I thought it said 125. Okay. It's a 245, 212 and a half, which is still pretty wide. I bet you let's go look at Workday really quick. Let's go look at Workday really quick. Then we'll look at the Crypto Trinity. I'll answer your questions. We'll take a look at earnings trade. Then I got to get out of here and get this video made. Well. Typical, not working. All right, let's just pull this up here. Wish FinViz had the IV, but we're just going to assume the IV is about 4,000 if it's anything in Alti Workday. We do have the beta, and the beta could tell us. I wonder what the beta of Credo was. If I go look at it right now, I guess I could before I hit enter. Beta is 2.59, and I'd say that's pretty typical, meaning Credo's going to move 2.5 times as fast and as far as SPY. And that's a backward looking. It means it has done that. It's not trying to predict the future. Come on now. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Let's just exit that stupid page. Anyway, you guys go look that up yourself. I wanted to look up Workday. It's just so hard. It's just so hard when nothing ever works. And this is acting like internet problems. And they're outside working on Google Fiber right now. We have fiber coming to the neighborhood, and they're digging ditches and stuff, or whatever they do to put fiber in. Yeah, probably trenching it. So someday we'll have fiber, but I have 2 connections. Big Dog's house. Big Dog is the nickname of that white dog, that big boxer. And if you ever met him, you'd see what he means. He's 75 pounds, but he's solid muscle. Most boxers weigh 60 pounds, or they aren't. I mean, but he's a monster. I've seen 1 or 2 boxers at the park that are as big as him, but that dog is a monster. A lot of people see him and think he's a bulldog. Anyway, so, all right, we'll just close FinViz. Let's go look at something maybe that does work. We'll see if Crypto Trinity works. All right, so, gosh, what is that? You got to be kidding me. That's the Altiverse. Holy cow. What is going on? It's because the NASDAQ's dropping. You got to be kidding me. Alti's down 1.5 points. I'd hate to see what blocks is down. Jackson, it's okay. Now, it's okay, Jackson. I'm just kidding. You didn't do anything. It's not you, Jackson. It's not you, buddy. All right, let's look at the LFGY verse. It's only down 0.5 point. The average stock in there is also getting killed. Bitmine Immersion's getting killed. Like I say, let's see what Blocks is doing, because they have to settle puts, even though they're put spreads and they're safe and everything. I know it, but it's still path dependent. They're going to be the worst in a down market, but the best in an up market. Sure enough, exactly what I said. Down 2.6 doesn't mean Blocks isn't awesome. It goes up way faster also. Really, also, do you know what I figured out yesterday, or when I was making that synthetic video? There's no difference between what LFGY does. In a put spread and a call spread are the same thing. An out of the money put spread is the same thing as an in the money call spread. So they're very closely related. They're very closely related. They're more closely related than you guys think. I'll make a video on that sometime. I don't know if you guys are as fascinated with synthetics as I am, but once you understand synthetics, it really it helps it helps unlock the puzzle. All right, so okay, that's it for the Crypto Trinity. And I would imagine everyone that's listening to me this morning, or everyone in my Discord, certainly, that you guys understand synthetics. I know you do. That's, or at least the basic ones. You know that a short put's the same thing as a covered call. That's the most basic one. All right, so let's look at I guess maybe the index buffer report, or let's see what you guys are up to. Yeah, why is everything down today? I saw somebody talking about Palantir in Discord. There's a post on that. Hey, Ofer, I responded to your email yesterday. You asked me for some help, and I said, email me here. I'm going to put my email here. If anyone needs me, this is the best way. Especially if you aren't in Discord, or if I'm off busy working on something, you can email me or you can text me, but you have to be in Discord to see what my number is, and it's only for emergencies. But you could shoot me a text. I mean, shoot me a text if you need something. Hit me up on email, and I'll be happy to take a look at it. All right, Palantir. Yeah, no idea. Okay, so what is? But yeah, hello, Ofer. I appreciate you being here, and I responded late. You asked me for some help on a little something or another, and I responded like at 1 o'clock in the morning to email me. So maybe you just haven't seen it or something. Okay, so Dan, I know you guys have been talking about Roundhill versus Rexford Yieldmax. I don't know if you talked about this yesterday, but not crazy about these Roundhill weeklies because they trade swaps on the OTC. Okay, yeah, yeah, true. But the more salient criticism, I think, is that they're just selling stock, that their swaps aren't covered call swaps. They're just total return swaps. But I'm just still not sure. I'm still not 100% sure, but people smarter than me and all the people from Yieldmax are saying they're just selling stock. So it's been working while it's working. I mean, it's hard to argue with success, though. Those ones on the max factor, I'm data driven. And the max factor doesn't take into account the strategy. It just looks at, risk adjusted reward. It just looks at how much yield you're making versus how much upside you're giving up. And then it also factors in total return over the past year if you've been here long enough to do a year. We need to look at the max factor. Anyway, those things are dominating. Those things are dominating, though. They're beating the equivalent Yieldmax ones. But I would expect that to be the max factor can't predict the future. We have to understand what the max factor is telling us. And I would expect in a down market, the Yieldmax ones would do a little better because they aren't selling stock. I never did like the concept of XPay, and that one does just directly sell stock. So anyway, all right. So my thoughts are the jury's still out. And what I'm saying is someone stuck a gun to my head and made me buy any of the three of them. Those Rex ones, they're doing synthetics on half the portfolio. They're using, regular options where we can track them. The Rex ones, to me, as far as the strategy goes, I like the way they look the best. Or Yieldmax is good too. Yieldmax does the same thing. They do synthetics on the whole thing. So you would expect Rex to compare Rex and Yieldmax. You would expect Yieldmax to do better in the down market. It's not defensive. You wouldn't buy it if you thought the market was going down, but it would do better in the down market than Rex because Rex is leaving half the upside uncapped. Might do better in the nut market. But now that I say that, Yieldmax, though, with the covered call spreads, do leave a portion of the upside uncapped, or it's in a different way than Rex is doing it. So they're probably very similar. But yeah, I prefer those also. But I mean, Roundhill, it's hard to argue with success. I mean, if you knew the market was going up, you'd probably want the Roundhill ones. All right, blocks and CYW are my all-time losers. Just my luck with those volatile rankings. Yeah, well, CYW, gosh darn it, that one was on fire for a long time, but no ranking, no metric, no, you could use a moving average crossover system. You could buy these ETFs when they cross over the 50-day moving average or something, and you'll catch the uptrend, and that's awesome. If you would have done that on CYW, you would have made a bunch of money on the way up. Just following the trend. But then the earnings hits and boom, the next day you give back all your profit because there's a huge gap. And that's the problem with following momentum is the momentum switches before you can But they don't tell you. They don't say, hey, we're getting ready to dump this stock after earnings. They aren't going to tell you in advance. So, but yeah, and what I'm saying is the max factor is a momentum-based system. It doesn't use moving averages anymore. The old formulation did, but let's look at the max factor here. I don't know what's going on, Palantir. Okay. So there's Matt. If anyone needs me, hit me up on Discord. Okay. So, hit me up on Discord or Gmail. Let's look at the max factor. I'm starting to get a second wind. I'm starting to wake up. It's that caffeine. The caffeine's kicking in. Okay. So the max factor is otherwise known as high yield technical analysis. We have some loadings, but I don't know. I'm not even going to pull. There's so many loadings. If I pull a top 20 list, we're just going to look at yesterday's top 20 list. I can tell it's close enough. It's whatever. But PLTW, if it's dumping, and you could figure it'd probably be lower. But let's just look at what I'm saying. NVDW and PLTW and COIW, for that matter, are ahead of any of the yield max equivalents. Now, I wonder if there's an AMDW. I don't think there is. AMD's dominating. But also AMD's down today. Who knows? I mean, that's a general look at the max factor. Here's the long-term list. I'll try to, I just got so many things going on. I have somebody in Discord helping me write new formulas or helping me incorporate a different data source into the max factor. And we did a lot Sunday night, and I didn't work on it at all yesterday. And I don't know if he did. So, but I need to get back on top of that. I just tell you the truth. I saw a video yesterday. It was a Salty and Alti video, had zero information in it. Zero information in it. And I don't even know who it was, but somebody that had 3,500 subs. So just like me, and they got like 8,500 views. I don't see how you can put no information in a video and get 8,500 views, but I want clicks too. I don't see why these other people get clicks and I don't, other than the fact I'm kind of negative on these stocks, I guess. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm too negative, or I'd call it realistic or too data driven. But anyway, zero information. So I'm going to take a shot at it. So I decided to make a Salty and Alti video, but I'm going to make one that has all kinds of information in it, of course. But I worked on that probably 6 hours yesterday. It's basically finished. You guys can have a quick look at it. Hedger's Paradise, first look at Alti and Salty. And I have 3,800 subs, but I'm never getting 9,000. I didn't get 9,000. I didn't get 9,000 views when I interviewed Jay. I mean, I won't get 9,000 views when I interview Mike Coe. I mean, I don't get how you can make a video, put zero information in it, and get triple the amount of views that you have subscribers to. Other than this Alti Salty thing is hot. So, I mean, I'll be lucky to get 1,000 on this thing. And I worked so hard on this. You guys have no idea how hard I worked on this. Anyway, that's fine though. But that's why I'm too busy to work on the high yield technical analysis right now. But we need to get back on the max factor. The max factor is the best thing I have going right now. If I could just get the darn thing working. Let's go back here and see if the loadings are still there. Yeah, gosh darn it. I just don't get it. Anyways, whatever. It's whatever. But I don't see how you could get 3 times your sub count and just have zero information in the video. Zero. I just don't get it. All right. So what else do you guys want to look at? We're going to look at option trades. So I know some of you guys don't like option trades. So this is your time to bow out gracefully, but I'm not going to have time to do an earnings show. So put it in the comments if you want to see, but, BR, whose opinion I value, said he thinks Target's a miss. So just given that right there, let's look at a Target. Let's look at a bearish Target trade. Target didn't already have earnings, did they? Was it this morning? I don't think it was this morning. Maybe he made that comment last night. I can maybe tell by the IVs if they already had earnings. 71. Well, wait. Yeah, for this week, this should be higher than 71. Yeah, 122. No earnings yet. There's a huge premium. All right. I mean, that trade right there is not bad. Just the default trade right there. I mean, I don't like iron condors. If I was going to do a neutral trade, I would just do something like this, an iron butterfly or just a fly. But then the pro move is to break the wing one way. You don't want risk on both sides. There you have it. That's the trade right there. That's the trade for you, BR. If they miss, you know, or go nowhere, you're in good shape. It's a debit trade. We'll switch it to call so BR can take his wife to dinner. She probably deserves dinner for putting up with him. I'm just joking, BR. All right. I don't even know if BR is married. All right. So there you go. $56. I mean, where can you go on $56? Panera Bread, maybe, and that would be cutting it close, but something like Panera, you could, you could go get soup and sandwiches or something. Or you could do multiple contracts. Also, the liquidity is better with the calls than the put. This 111 put was illiquid. This is better. Anyway, that's the trade right there. That's for a target miss. All right, that's not a bad looking trade. So we'll copy that link and I'll put that in there for you guys. You guys want to follow along with BR. But that's for a target miss. Where is the darn, what profile am I in with the StreamYard? Okay. Okay, so I don't see any other requests. So let's do that work. Well, let's do one of but the copy trade stuff is McDonald's with the large fries and the Coke. Yeah. I mean, I was trying to think of a better place. I was trying to think of some place where his wife's not going to leave him, you know, as soon as he falls asleep, you know. So McDonald's would probably do it, you know, Burger King, whatever. But, you know, Panera Bread, if you're looking for a discount, that's, you know, it's a soup and sandwich probably costs $25 there. I don't think they have alcohol, but for $50, you could go to Panera and you could get you a nice soup sandwich and a bag of potato chips. I mean, in fact, that sounds good to me right now. I love some Panera Bread. You could do a little Slotsky's. Slotsky's is actually an Austin company. They had it in Oklahoma growing up also, but I didn't realize until I got down here. But the first Slotsky's was in Austin. Slotsky's is really good. Slotsky's is highly underrated. The best Austin brands are Texas brands, in my opinion, are Whataburger, a place called P. Terry's. P. Terry's is a hamburger joint that ripped off that chain from California, In-N-Out. They basically used the In-N-Out. They brought In-N-Outs. They brought In-N-Out from California to Austin about 20 years ago, and people love P. Terry's. But now we have In-N-Out also. Yeah, it is good. You know, Slotsky's, or when you talking about Slotsky's or Panera, they're both good. And I'm telling you, you probably never heard of P. Terry's. They're only in Texas, but P. Terry's is good. And Whataburger, it started in Galveston, but Whataburger is really good. I mean, if you want a greasy burger, which sometimes I feel like. Anyway, okay. So what else do we want to look at option trade wise? Maybe let's look at that. Let's look at that work day. Let's just see what else we have in here. We had a bunch of red in here. Okay, well, I had a consultant. I'm trying to think what this is. I had a consulting last night, and I was showing somebody something. Anyway, but that would actually done all right. Doug, I had a live stream on Saturday night. Doug is calling for higher crypto prices, so we're looking at a YOLO for 134 days out. It hasn't worked out yet on IBIT, but it may still. Okay, so our two copy trades, our Alti copy trades are working out. Boy, that's nice to see. So Palo Alto Networks must have had nice earnings. Look at that. Remember I said when you copy trade, you can't take your wife to dinner, but you make you forgo the yield up front, but you get it when you cash it in. So anyway, time to cash that one in. That is a winner. Winner, chicken dinner. Okay, maybe let's do the workday and the Reddit trades and just put them in here so we can follow them. So Palo Alto Networks work out. Copy trade target. I look at this copy trade target, and this is working out. Now this is actually, no, that's the copy trade. I just used the same amount as they use. And if you look at their collar is going to be up the same amount. It doesn't matter if you use the stock or not. It's the same difference in the final analysis. It's better. It's probably better to use the stock, get your income up front. I mean, and that's what these funds are trying to do, is generate an income. But if you don't care, just don't want a freaking bull spread. It's all the same difference. It opens up the whole world once you understand that a call and a put are basically the same thing. I mean, they're inverse of each other, but they're the same thing. Anyway, all right. All right, so let's get back to that copy trade. Let's go look at the trade tracker alti. Let's do a workday and a Reddit really quick. The Reddit's 125. The Reddit is a 250. Oh, no. The Reddit is a 250 for this week. 212 and a half. Let's just go put that in there. Bull put spread, otherwise known as a synthetic collar, RDT. Oh, wait, RDDT, right? What is Reddit? Yeah, RDDT. All right. So it was 212 and a half. We need to switch this to a call. Well, I'll show you the synthetic argument. Watch this. 212 and a half, or it's 250, 212 and a half. Okay. Puts and calls are the same thing. Switch this to a call. Now, there's sometimes you would want to do it one way instead of the other way. You maybe don't want to sell in the money put. And I mean, there's lots of, but I'm saying it's the same thing. That what Blocks is doing is the synthetic equivalent of what, and it's why it's so badass. Because I really like what YieldMax is doing. That call spread was a genius. The covered call spread's a genius move. Well, it's very similar to what Blocks is doing because of the, once you understand this, anyway. So let's just do that. We'll save that trade. You guys could follow along with that if you want to. I don't have to put that in Discord, do I? Surely you guys are watching. I'll do it just in case anyone wants to follow along. All right, so now let's do the Reddit one really quick, and then I got to get out of here. Unless you guys put a comment in there, then I think we've covered everything we need to cover. I've got to get this video out, see if I can get triple my sub count. To get triple my sub count would mean I would, because I really basically have 4,000. I'm like a 3,900 or something. So I would need to get 12,000. I just don't even see how you do that, how you get triple your sub count without knowing anything of what you're talking about, without having any usable information. I mean, the only prospectus I can find on the internet came from back when Tidal, when Zega was still I mean, a lot's changed since then. I cannot find a current prospectus. It's not on the YieldMax sites yet. As soon as the new prospectus, the current one, comes out, it'll probably come out tonight. They'll publish on the site. Then I'll make a video and I'll examine that. But I just don't see how you get 3 times your sub count without offering any value at all. But people are doing it. It's just good, and it's because of Alti. Alti's just, it's because you put the word Alti in the thing, and it's crazy. All right, so let's see what to do here. So let's look at this. So we got Reddit and Workday. So the Workday one will be easy. 245, 212 and a half. That's a pretty wide spread. I bet you it's pretty volatile. Let's see, back to editor. I've already forgot those numbers. Gosh, I'm the worst. If I say something before I go do it, let me think here if I can think of it here. Was it 250, 212 and a half? Was that it? Or that sounds like the last one. Wasn't that the Reddit one? Come on. 245, 212 and a half. Okay. 245, 212 and a half. If you want, I could switch them to puts again, and it'll be the same thing. It doesn't, you want to do with puts, you do with puts or whatever. But anyway, we're going to do it with calls because that's the better way to do it, because you're really trying to capture this $4.85. That's the covered call part of it. This right here is the stock with limited downside, because that's what a call is. A stock plus a married put, which is a stock plus limited downside, or is a synthetic call. Well, that's how this works, because the collar trade is stock plus a married put, and then a short call. Well, you can substitute the call for stock plus a married put, especially if you want to save a little bit of capital. Nothing wrong with that. You're in the same position as they are, but you didn't have to have, you like I always say, you don't have 3.6 billion. No one does. Very few people do. But Alti does it. So they can do callers with large amounts, but for the small fry, just slap something like this on. All right, save trade. I'll put down here Alti, copy. So we know what it was. All right. So, all right. Well, anyway, I've ranted enough for today. All right. There's no comment, so that's good. There's 14 of you here, which I really appreciate. That's really good, especially after the option segment is over. Okay. Well, I made it short and sweet. I didn't go off on too big of a tangent, but we did have a mini lesson. Call spread, put spread, same thing. Synthetic equivalents, not the same thing, but calls and puts are opposite, but also the same thing. In the final analysis, they're just they're the inverse of each other. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you all. So be looking for that video. Please, maybe it's because I don't pander for likes but if you watch that video, please hit like, especially if you like it. I worked hard on it, but if you don't like it or disagree, still hit like anyway, just for the algorithm. But then write me a comment and say, no, you got it wrong here. I mean, I want to have it right, but is it that I'm not pandering enough? I mean, I just don't get it. But anyway, like and subscribe. All right, guys, have a good day. I'll talk to you later.